Get in! So it's day 12 of this whole Christmas calendar. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. So we have an older video today for you. It's another skills video, and we're going to be talking about when a defender should use the skill. Now, I show a lot of skills and how to do them a lot of the time, but I want to show you when a defender should use a skill. So I'm going to talk about that today. I'm going to show some skills on the screen right here for you to watch, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so like I said in the intro, I am going to be talking more about when a defender should use a skill rather than how they're actually done. Now, I've done so many skills on my channel now to the point where you guys have probably seen a lot of them, and these are quite basic skills because these are defender skills, and I feel like you should use mainly basic skills in defense. You shouldn't really use any flashy ones unless you're someone like Sergio Ramos against a Sunday League team. Now, I'm still going to be showing the skills in the background so you guys can see how they're done. I'll slow-mo them down so you guys can copy and replicate them, but our real focus is going to be when the defender should use a skill rather than how it's actually done. Now, like we all know, if you guys have got to the age where you play 11 aside, which is how professionals play, you've got a right back, centre back, left back if you're playing 4 at the back. Obviously, if you do a different formation, like 5 at the back, you've got left and right wing backs, and you've got 3 centre backs in different types of positions. But either way, we'll just focus on the 4 for now. Left back, right back. Now, I think the ruling can kind of vary depending on if you're a wing back or a centre back. We're going to mainly focus on when centre back should do them, but there is a couple of skills in there thrown in from the full back, wing back video that I did, which also we'll touch on today as well. Now, I'm not a defender myself, but I did start in defense when I was very young. That's where I started, right back in a 7-a-side game. I played right back, then went right midfield, and then we went 11-a-side. I started playing up top as a striker. Now, what I find as a striker is that a lot of defenders don't use skills on me, but if they do, they normally work. And that's because as a striker, you're just trying to commit to the ball, you're trying to win it back as quick as you can. And as a striker, you'll know if you win that ball, you're going to be in a threatening position to score or play someone in to finish it. So that's why they'll get away with it most of the time. I mean, sometimes defenders have tried to beat me with the skill, and I've took it off them and then scored, and that's why they don't do it too often. So this is why we're going to focus on when a defender should actually use the skill and when he shouldn't or she shouldn't. So the first thing a defender should always do when using a skill is have PPB. Now, if you don't know what PPB is, I've talked about this in skills videos before. It's player ball. It's basically keeping yourself between the striker and the ball, or whoever's closing you down and the ball. That's PPB. As a defender, if you use a skill and your body's open and the ball's out there to win it, there's a good chance that they're going to take it from you and you can't get your body across. But if you have PPB and you lose the ball, they win it off you. That way you can get your body across, and if you need to take them down, you can, because that's your last option. If you do lose the ball and they're going to be in, you need to take them down and take the card or whatever you're going to get. But PPB is so important as a defender to use that skill and get your body across straight after you've lost it if you do, and in that way you kind of have some cover from yourself. A great example of this is this skill that I'm showing right now, which is the step over. You can see when I step around the ball, or Nathan steps around the ball to do the skill, my body is in between the ball and him, so that way he's never going to be able to get it. Even if he doesn't fall for the trick, I can always go back to the keeper. Which then brings me on to my next point, which is time. Now, again, with this skill, or a couple of skills that I've used, like the Cruyff turn, but mainly this skill right here, this is something you would use if you had a lot of space between you and the person closing you down, as the striker would be. Say you had like 4 or 5 yards between you and the striker, and they're not really coming in too fast. You could pretend to pass it one way, and they will move that way, and you could turn out and go the other direction. And if they don't fall for it, if they think, oh, I've read that, then you can always just go back to your keeper because you're already facing your goal, and that would be your backup plan if you didn't do the skill correctly or they didn't fall for it. You can always just go back to your goal. So there's a few skills that you've seen in the background, like this one right here, which is a perfect time to use when the defender is committing to the ball. And you know they're committing because they're running full pelt and they're only aiming one direction. They think you're going to pass it one direction, so they're going to slide or like try and block it, and then you can drag it away. That's what skill's on the board right now, so you can see that right there. It's a very simple skill, it's just a drag. But again, you're keeping your body solid next to the ball, you're standing upright. It isn't really PPB. It isn't something where you've got your body in front of the ball, but if you do it early with time and you know they're committing one way, you can just walk away and pass the ball away. As well, always do it onto your strong foot. So if you're doing a skill onto your strong foot, you've got more chance of having more control of the ball. You always got to work on both feet. I've always, preached that. You've always got to work on both feet. But doing a skill as a defender onto your weak foot, so say it was on my right foot and then I put it onto my left, it's always dangerous because you're not as strong with your weaker foot. So if you try to make a pass or a clearance, it might not go as well as you thought. So always try to do skills onto your strong foot, or put yourself into a position where you can use your strong foot. Like this drag right here, if I dragged it with my right, I can then pass it with my right. There's no problem there. But if I was to do a Cruyff turn backwards there, and then I had to play with my weak foot, there might be a little bit of an issue if my pass isn't correct or my clearance isn't correct. So you've got to make sure that if you're going to do a skill, you've got to be confident with your weak foot or putting it onto your strong foot. Now just remember this, one time you should never ever use skills, and you should be as basic as you can. Never use a skill is if you're the only one back. So you're pushing all your players forward, we're trying to attack, we're trying to score, the ball comes out to you, a defender or a striker or a midfielder, whoever is closing you down. This is when you shouldn't really use a skill. Just keep it very basic. I'd never preach someone to use a skill if they're the last man and they've got no other options. Unless they're facing their own goal, just don't use a skill. It's not worth it. If you lose the ball, you are the last defense. If you haven't done the PPB as well, they're going to take the ball and run through against your keeper. So just make sure if you're the only one, then don't do it. But if you do have cover, say you're playing 5 at the back, you've got a left wing back, 3 centre backs and a right wing back. It's a perfect opportunity to use one if you know you can, pull it off and you're confident about it, because you've got 3 covers across the back. You've got either a wing back, a centre back, or a centre back both sides of you. It doesn't really make a difference if it's a 5 or a 4. You've still got 3 other people going to be covering you. So that's a perfect time to use it if you know you've got people around you. If you do lose it, then they're going to be able to help you get it back. Now, one little point, if you are on the wings, so say you're a right back or a left back, you can use skills more on the wings, because if you lose it, obviously they've got to get the ball into the centre to then attack. But as a centre back, sometimes you'll find yourself out there as well, and this would be a perfect time to use a skill. If you know they're going to commit to something, you could take it away towards the line. Never really take the skill inside unless you're sure of it, because if you take it inside, they win it. They've got more chance of getting past you. So if you're going to do a skill, go down the line. If they try to tackle you, can always just put it out as a safety option, then get back into position. But yeah, for a left back and right back, they kind of do that anyways, because that's where they are. They're on the wings. But as a centre back, if you find yourself out there, then that would be more of a key time to use a skill. Like I say, more in the centre is a lot more dangerous, so just be wary of that as well. So I think by this point, you're kind of clued up on when to use a skill as a defender and stuff like that. And I think, I'm positive that you guys have got the information that you need. But I just want to mention that I'm currently doing a one-to-one session with a kid called Ashley, which is like a coaching session that I do one-to-one with him, and he's a defender. Now, he's the first defender that I've coached one-to-one, because not a lot of defenders like to, want to do skills and stuff. They just want to hit tackles and clear the ball. That's kind of their job. But I think with this day and age, it's so important, regardless of where you play. Like I say, I started as a defender. When Ashley grows up, he might be a striker, like it might just change like that. So you've got to be prepared for that. Now, even at defender, I always like the ball at my feet, and I like to work on ball work and stuff. And I think it's very, very important for a defender to do a lot of ball work. Now, even if it's just drags inside or 1-2s inside your feet, toe taps on top of the ball, I always preach that stuff, because that is great ball work, especially for a defender. It allows them to be more calm in positions where it might be panicky. If you're facing your own goal and you don't know where the striker's at, you want to be calm on the ball. So if you know you can be comfortable with your feet and believe in yourself to keep the ball at your feet, then you've got more of a chance of doing the skill or whatever you want to do in that position. But yeah, I just want to say that even as a defender, you should always be practicing ball work. If it's not skills, if you don't like skills, if you don't want to do that type of stuff, then fair enough, that's totally fine. But I feel like as a defender, you should still always work on your footwork, because it's just as important as any other position on the field. Alright, so that's pretty much all the information that I feel like you need. Like I said, there's a lot more which I'll talk about in future videos and stuff, but I just thought it was very important, because I do get a lot of questions and comments down in the comment section about whether defenders should actually use skills. Should they use them? When's the right time to use them? Some people comment saying, I'm a right back, do I need to use these skills? That's why I'm trying to do all the positions on the field of all the skills. I've currently got centre backs to do, which I showed a few of them today, but I'm going to do a proper video on that. I've also got goalkeepers to do if you want to see that, but I have done full-backs, wingers, centre midfielders, strikers. I've actually done 2 videos on wingers, because there's a lot of skills to use out there, but I will do more videos on the other positions as well, and there's a lot of different formations and stuff, so we can get into that detail further on in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. Comment down below if you like this type of video, if it helped you. I know there's a lot of defenders that watch the videos, so hopefully this did help you. Let me know if you want me to do this for other types of positions. I talk over and tell you my intel on all that stuff, or if you didn't like the video, or just, you can tell me that too. I love all types of comments. But yeah, hope you guys have a great day. I will see you in a couple of days.